I'm Fritch.
I'm Jennifer Urezzio from Soul Language.
And we have been hanging out today.
Very fun day.
It has been a really fun day.
Very fun day.
Jennifer has been working with me and my spiritual path and also with my business for, what, 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, since we met at the end of April. And she is awesome.
Thank you.
And I really have to say, am I choking up? Some of the best money I've ever spent on
Wow,
really any kind of coaching, personal development work, whatever you want to call it. It's just been super, super, super valuable.
Thank you. I guess the question I want to ask you is, why do you feel it's so important to do the inner work?
So when people talk about starting a business, you know, they think about all these things like accounting and a business license and setting up an LLC and blah, blah, blah.
Which you need.
Which you do need. Not necessarily a business license. But what I think people don't realize is that if you want to get on the fast track to looking at your own shit, you can do a couple of things. You can jump headfirst into a relationship.
Check.
And you can have a child.
I can't check that one.
And you can start a business.
Check. 2 out of 3.
If you choose to do some, all, none, whatever, of those things, you're going to immediately be plunged into the deep end and expected to swim. And for that reason, the interior inquiry is super important to how you show up in the external world, regardless of what your business is. So as you come up against your own resistance, self-doubt, criticism, judgment of self and others, all that stuff will negatively impact your business. Whether you want it to or not, whether you see it or not, whether you're a real estate agent or a therapist or, you know, a palm reader, it will come out. And it's, when you're working in your own business, it's different from when you are in, you know, say corporate America. And because corporate America is sort of like big puffy insulation, it's an environment of dysfunction multiplied to an extreme degree, but it's an environment that insulates you.
Well, there's a false sense of security, right?
Right.
You go, okay, well, someone's in charge of finding clients and I'll have a paycheck, and so there's that.
Yeah, there is that.
And you're not selling yourself.
You're not.
You're selling the corporate whatever.
You can always hang blame on someone else when
True.
it's a bigger business than your business. So when it starts becoming, when the buck stops with you, you suddenly have to get very, very clear about what's causing the buck to stop or not stop. I don't really know the origins of that phrase though. So that's why I think the internal process is super important to business owners. I think it's important for people who are breathing, but specifically for business owners, yeah.
So when your soul language is identified, what kind of response did it felt like? Yeah, I get that. You know, what was that experience like for you?
So 2 things. One, when my soul language for myself was identified, I felt recognition. I could see myself in those descriptions and go, yeah, that makes total sense. What I also love is where you can see the manifestation of operating unconsciously. So that's when like the negative ouchy stuff comes up, and I could go, oh, when I'm feeling negative and gross, it manifests this way, and that's because I'm doing the flip of what's the positive way of manifesting that soul language in my life.
I agree. You know, there's been times where, you know, in my own life, people would go, well, what's the unconscious use of the equalizer? And I'd be like, and I turn to my sheets and I go, oh, look, there it is. And it gives you a place of acceptance and a place of starting and going, okay, it's not this life and death situation. This is about using my energy in a sustainable or non-sustainable way. What is there something that you like to impart to people who might not have heard about soul language, but are kind of their interest is piqued, what would you like them to know about the process?
That for me, it's given me a framework, and I'm familiar with, Jungian parts work and, active imagination, voice dialogue, all that stuff. If you don't know what that is, go Wikipedia it, or call me. We'll talk. So there's that element of it, but for me, what it did was give me a team of witnesses who, and this is the soul team, who get what I'm up to, and also have, in many ways, kind of their own agenda. And it doesn't replace my religious tradition. It layers on. It doesn't replace my work with Jennifer. It doesn't replace having friends, but it's almost like I have this board of advisors who I can go to and be like, okay, I'm coming up against this again. Can we hash it out? And that soul team gives a structure for that. And
Beautiful.
so yeah, that's why I love it.
So you have your own sacred work, and you are what I would consider a spiritual leader. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what that sacred work is and what it's like embracing that spiritual leadership.
Yeah, and so just to give you guys some context, I started on this path of saying, oh wait, yeah, I am a business coach and a life coach, but there's something bigger here. And I started on that path well over a year ago with a group that was going to help me with the marketing and the messaging and all that stuff. And after going through a year of internal work and external platform work and, the branding, I still wasn't quite there yet. And that's when I met Jennifer by chance, or not. And so I didn't really know what we were supposed to be doing or what the specific intention or goal was. And of course everything happens right when it needs to. It's like I had been primed to do the work that we then ended up doing. And so for me, what it really helped me step into was saying I am a leader of leaders, and that, yes, I am, and that I get to sort of defy some of the strategies and long-held beliefs around what a leader looks like, what a leader's background should be, how a leader talks, what a leader does to put that message out to the world. And for me, my demographic is actually not a demographic at all. It's very much the interior landscape of my people. That interior landscape is something that they all share. And my leaders are people who are in the spotlight or about to be in it a little bit more. And they're people who have created a persona because they needed to at some time, and that was helpful and productive and protective. And then they've gotten to the point where it's not so much working anymore, and they're feeling that in this incredible unfulfillment. And it's really about integrating who they are and being true and realizing that who they are is better than the persona that they created, and that they get to bring who they are into every space, whether they're on or off. They just get to be, instead of having,
to compartmentalize who they are.
Exactly.
At every point.
Exactly.
Well, every time I talk to you, every time we have a conversation, I'm always so fascinated by you, because you have there's so much depth, and there's so much just talent and willingness to bring that to everything you do. So I just want to thank you, because it's amazing to watch, and it's amazing to watch, as we all grow, how that idea of ourselves, that core, it just expands and it blossoms and it grows, and it's really exciting to watch, and to be in it with everyone and to be in it myself. So thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Yay!